Hello everyone, I'm Batpan. Welcome to Devlog number 11 on a game I still don't know what to call yet. In this video, we're gonna see the things I have covered so far. As you guys know, I have finished the actual game and now I'm actually trying to fix the lightings and then fix some audios, add some audios to it and everything that the game has. So as you see, we have this train station here. You guys might have seen the animation that had different, color grading or something. The first thing you see is the cursor. When you go hover over an interactable object, it gets bigger, and if you're not, it gets smaller and the color changes to transparent mode. The next thing I have added is the dialogue. You see these dialogues are different now. It's not like before, a very huge panel like Fractured Psyche. And you see different people have different colors. I'll explain everything that I have added in the following minutes, so no worries on that. You see there are players here. The other thing I added is the smooth camera movement. You see the camera movement has been smooth and I really love it because it shows how far the game has come. I always wanted the game to have smooth cameras, so I have done a lot of things to gain these effects. And you see I also have the head bob animation. The head bob animation is now okay, and it is actually compatible and it is related. I don't know how to say this, but the speed is 5. The head bob should be something that it actually looks normal, so the head won't go up and down a lot. You see I also have added a head bob, as I said. The next beautiful thing is some post-processing I have added. I already had the VHS Pro camera effect on my cameras, but the thing I have to show you is the post-processing. You see, you might not see it until I deactivate it. You see, without the effects, everything looks, off color, something like this. But the post-processing, the changes I made to it actually makes everything a lot better. So I had some ambient occlusion. I added some color grading to it. If you guys want to see the values, you can see it here. You can see it here. These are the values I chose to gain this effect. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the lighting, because I have made different lightings for different conditions. You see I have now a light pack here. You see this animation? Yeah, this is for the continue of the game, so no worries on that. And the next thing I have added is alongside, aside from the effects, is that each character, instead of writing their name, I gave them, colors. So for example, this priest has a green color, that cop has a blue color, this woman has purple color, and that man has a red color, a reddish color. And this old man kind of have a light blue color. This is the priest. You have dialogues to choose from. I choose this one. You see, you can also skip the dialogue. So white is us, so we're always white. You see, you can end the dialogue. You can talk to the cop. You can comment on stuff, on the walls and stuff. You can comment on this trash can. You can talk with this cop. I might have to change some colors because this blue one might not be readable enough. So I might actually, change the blue color. So you saw this one. I don't want to show the complete game, but you see, I'm going to show you, we had the second lighting. You see, we take the note, everything is black. You see the atmosphere change. It is now quiet. Everything is now quiet. And this light going out and coming back is just a very simple animation. Let me just show you guys. It is a very simple animation. You see we have this animator here. It stopped the animation because you see this is a very simple animation. And this animation, these keyframes, where to put them, I actually asked AI to tell me the frames based on this format to gain that realistic light flicker effect. Now you see it has this one. You can kind of go there. You see this clock, and yeah, we're done with the first part. It is not important, the story wise, the story is not important. So you saw the things we made for that one. So let's go ahead and see how we have implemented this. One of our dear friends actually commented on the dialogue system that we made for the Fears to Fathom. He said that he actually used it and actually improved it himself to gain some effects and improved it actually. And what he did was he added some functions so the dialogue would end. You gave it an array of strings, for example, and it automatically writes all the dialogues and it understands when the dialogue is finished, and it actually, for example, runs another function. And he also added some stuff. I personally think, I'm not sure what he did. He also added some stuff like I did here. I made a class. It has an English speaker and also Farsi speaker. Since I only have 2 languages now, I made the class like this one. We can go ahead and see the class actually. Let me just show you how I implemented this. This is actually very amazing. This is actually very helpful. You can actually use it in your own games. Instead of, referencing something a couple of times, you can just make them a class and just call that one. Make an array of that class, you see? I have a class called dialog line. It's very simple. You have to just add system.serializable up here and then, for example, say public class dialog line. It takes an ID for the dialogue so we can find the dialogue. Then it has the sentence English and the English speaker. It also has Farsi and it also has the duration, the values I need for the dialogue system to work. Then I added an enum. You see here, I tell that manager who is talking. Right now the player is talking. So I put this one here and then it goes to our global manager. It takes the first color, which is for the player. So if I tell the dialogue manager that the first person, the player, is talking, it's gonna go ahead and take the color from the global manager and add white to our text. And then if the priest is talking, then it's gonna go to our global manager and take the second color, which is the green color, and apply it to our text dot color. As simple as that. So instead of taking all of them one by one, I put all of them inside a very simple pack. It is easier to understand like this. A class in this case is like a pack. I made a pack that has an ID inside it, an English and a string called English, and all of these stuff inside it. Then I go to my dialog manager, for example. Then I say I need an array of dialog line. So what it does is it actually makes an array of these dialog lines. So I get this effect here. You see, if I go to this dialog pack, you see we have an array of this class. So each of them are a class. You see, each of them are dialog lines. You see, I said I need an array, then this is an array. A very simple thing I have pulled off, saves you a ton of time. Instead of taking all the dialogues once, one by one, again and again, you can just put all of them inside a class and you reuse them. So this was the method I used, and I found out that our friend actually kind of used the same thing or something similar to it. So that was that. Then the next thing I have added, so these were the things I have added. Then I went ahead to the second time scene. Yeah, I want to save the changes. This is the save scene. I also changed a lot of things in this scene. For example, the lighting is the first thing. Then we go inside, we can talk to the merchant. I have changed some dialogues, not dialogues, I have changed some stuff inside it. Then we changed some stuff about the PC here. The PC we had here, I changed some stuff on that. Then I changed everything that we might have need to fix the game so it has a good pace on it. Then the next scene was the mannequin scene. I added the lighting for this scene. You see, for example, this scene has a lot more colors, a lot more lightnings. Then I added some stuff to it. I added the UI, so you guys know if you want to press A. If you press A, you go to left. If you press D, you go to right. I also added a text here. So if you want to read the story on the mannequin's chest, press the left mouse click. And if you want to shoot with the gun, you can press the right mouse click. And let me just show you another thing that I have. The reason I didn't have it. So as you guys might know, when I was showing you this, since Iran's internet was cut off and I had no access to any kind of internet at all, and I didn't have the GOM model and I couldn't have downloaded it, I didn't have internet for 90 days, so I placed a cube. Right now, when I came back to edit the game, I added this very simple gun. instead of the cube. The thing I'm gonna work on is I'm gonna continue where I left off with this project. And for the other project, for the Fractured Psyche, one of our friends actually said that the Android version, when I published the game on MyKit, an Iranian platform, some of the guys also mentioned this problem, and I was working on it for a while. Then I got caught up with everything. Then one of our dear friend actually said on itch.io that he also has the same problem, so it was kind of a click for me to go work on it. So I'm gonna go work on that one as well. So that was it for this devlog number 11. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If you did, a like really helps. You can subscribe to see more contents like this or contents like Fierce the Phantom tutorials. If you guys want to tell me anything, maybe suggestions or anything we just have to say to me or anything we just want to say, you can say it in the comment section below. I would be very happy to answer all of them. Hope all the very best for you guys and stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.